Does anyone else want to recap last session, or should I?
I got mauled by a dragon and chased by Kenku.
Anything else?
No, those are pretty much the highlights of Zid's life.
What about beyond Zin's life?
Well, we killed a shit ton of bandits that were posing as guards, because, they killed the original guards on the road.
How about the enormous airship that flew into town?
Yeah, there was that.
With Frilly McAsshole pants on it.
General Fainalthor.
Yeah, that guy.
Yes, him. So, Dan, do you only remember what happened to your own character?
No. I remember pretty much everything that happened in the session. The only thing that's fuzzy to me is the conversation, or the things that happened with that general with that airship.
Well, let me make this easy. Does anyone have any questions about what happened in the last session?
Not really.
Okay, in that case, there was one more thing I wanted to go over before the session actually started. All of the characters ended the previous session going to bed for the night. Now, I know some of you guys like to sleep outside of the city walls and all that. However, I let that slide in the first session, but if you sleep outside, then, it's dangerous out there. There's goblins and wolves and shit. So anyone who sleeps outside the city walls, I will roll an encounter for. So you can either sleep in the city or not. It's up to you. If you sleep in the city, you'll have to pay for the inn.
How much is the inn again?
It depends on what kind of lifestyle you're looking for. Modest lifestyle is 1 gold a day.
What's the lowest lifestyle that we won't suffer for?
Won't suffer for? Modest.
Well, if it's necessary to avoid an encounter roll, then I'll give up a gold coin for it then.
Does Zid sleep outside? Or does he go to an inn and sleep?
Give me one moment, you fucker. I'm looking something up at the moment. It's D&D related. It's actually related to this.
Well, if you're looking up the rules for lifestyle expenses, there aren't really any. It's mostly role-playing. Mostly up to the DM's discretion.
There are lifestyle expenses.
Yeah, I just looked up modest, and I'd rather do 4.
You sure about that, then?
Well, you haven't told us any rules about it. I'm reading through it.
Well, a poor lifestyle means that you don't get as good food, you don't get as good water, and you don't get as good beds. Which means that I basically roll to see if you get a level of exhaustion from malnourishment or something. Or lack of sleep.
I have to roll for exhaustion for malnourishment when you can literally go without eating for days on end without having to do that.
Well, I suppose. Never mind.
If the food is that bad, I'll just skip a day.
You know what? The lifestyle expenses thing is kind of weird. I was never able to figure out a easy way to do it. So why don't I just say it's a gold per day per person and leave it at that? The lifestyle expenses system is weird.
It kind of makes sense to me, in all honesty.
Yeah, but I can't think of any consistently decent detriments to lesser lifestyles or benefits to higher lifestyles.
Well, do we want to try to work that out, maybe in between sessions?
Yeah, we'll work it out later. We'll talk about it.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome, Lord Shiny Scalp.
Yeah, so...
Thank you, Beluga the Whale.
Long enough.
Okay, so basically, Keith, to catch you up, all we were doing was recapping on the previous session and talking about how to handle lifestyle expenses, which we're going to save for later. So for right now, everybody spends 1 gold on the inn for the night.
So glad you cleared that with me. Maybe I had other plans. I don't require sleep.
Well, you do require shelter, though. And if you sleep outside, I'll roll an encounter for you.
Yeah, now if we sleep outside and all that crap, we might have encounters that we gotta deal with.
Oh, if he wants to do it, he still can do so.
Yeah, but he might get mugged or killed as a result.
Considering I meditate aware and cannot be surprised.
Wait, since when can't you be surprised?
Or am I thinking of my 4E character sheet? Hang on. I might be thinking of my 4E sheet, not my 5E.
Yeah, because As far as I know, there's only one thing that can prevent you from being surprised, and that's a feat that you can't take until level 4.
Well, later on, I'll be unable to be surprised if I'm raging.
You might be thinking about not being able to be put to sleep.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
And Tyler, you're playing a paladin. You don't
He's
rage.
Well, I'm talking about Whelp. I'm talking about my barbarian. In the other game.
Okay.
Is it just me, or are we one player light tonight?
Amanda had some laptop issues, but she's telling me that she seems to have gotten it all fixed up. I'm asking her if she wants added now, and she does.
I'm gonna say I am not playing tech support tonight. Me playing tech support tonight would cost extra. Just saying.
Hi, Amanda.
Hello.
Okay, just to recap you, all we did was recap last session, skimmed over lifestyle expenses for now. We're going to talk about how to, make them more complicated than necessary later. So, for now, everyone just spends 1 gold for 1 night at the inn. Okay?
Okay.
And if you don't do that, you might have to roll an encounter.
Yeah, if you sleep outside, you might get mugged or attacked by wolves or something.
Fair enough.
So, everyone wakes up in their respective inns. I don't know if Zid went to the inn same inn as everyone else.
I am looking at the map.
No, he was down by City of the Dead.
Yeah, but he might have, gone back to the inn.
Is there any way Zig can just like climb up on this wall and lay up there?
You want to lay on top of the wall?
Yeah.
You want to sleep on top of the wall?
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure zombies aren't smart enough to climb the wall and drag me down, and this place is apparently horrible to go near at night, so I doubt bandits are going to go over here for fear of death.
Have you ever seen that one zombie movie where the zombies turned themselves into a ramp in order to climb to the roof of the building?
That is the worst zombie movie in history.
Yeah, I mean,
That was Daisy, and it had nothing to do with the source material.
yeah, if you really want to pull that shit on
Not
me,
Daisy.
these, yeah, I mean, yeah, that was World War Z, like,
Yeah, that.
that,
Game.
and those were runner zombies. Those were like 28 days later bullshit zombies.
Which also, by the way, weren't in the source material. They didn't have runners. They had Romero zombies.
Yeah,
I thought the movie I was thinking of was the one where they were all in the mall.
no, that's Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, they didn't do the ramp thing in that movie?
No, they weren't smart enough to do shit like that.
No. Okay, well, never mind. Okay, so Zid decides to sleep on top of the wall, and the entire time he sees the occasional skeleton or zombie wandering around the city. Does he... I think I should have him make a stealth check to determine whether or not the zombies notice him up there.
Brrr.
I don't know what they're gonna do if they do.
Well, we'll figure something out.
19 plus 3.
Wait,
Or wait,
who logged in as the demon cards?
I don't know. But yeah, 19
It
plus
is
3.
not me.
Amanda, I think it's you.
Did it log me in as the demon cards?
Yeah, can't be me. My spelling is more correct than that.
So yeah, 22 on myself.
Yeah, they don't notice you.
Okay.
Not at all.
That's
So,
amazing.
so you spend a rather goth night just sleeping on top of the walls of a huge city-sized cemetery, listening to the moans and groans of various undead as you gently fall to sleep.
Hey, Zid doesn't mind that. So have a lot
Right.
of bar.
Anton LaVey would be proud.
Anyway, morning arrives, and you all wake up to the sound of armor jangling, screaming, and various yellings of the words halt and stop and stuff like that.
Wait, we all wake up to this?
Yes, it's citywide.
Okay.
Looking out your various windows, or just off the wall in Zid's case, you can see that various Kenku are being chased by all kinds of guards. Like knights, like actual knights, not just guards. guards from Waterdeep and guards from the Moonsea Empire all working together to weed out the Kenku.
So they're finally doing shit.
It's about time they did something.
About how long has it been since the cards were lost?
What?
Didn't Martislac Dominate tell you that?
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember and I can't remember.
I don't remember exactly what he said either. It was either a couple months or a couple years, but no longer than that.
So it took the guards of all these areas that long to get the Kenku problem under control?
Hold on, not all cards are found right away. This one was found about 2 months ago. Or rather than that, it was found at least 2 months ago, and the problem started 2 months ago.
Speaking of which, have we tried the compass again to see if we're actually close enough for it to stop detecting it?
We should.
Okay, well, Seraph busts out the compass, and I actually adjusted the distance modifiers on this map. So let's see. From where you guys are now, or one of these buildings, I don't know. Let's see, 1,000 feet in any direction. The Five of Clubs, which is the one that you've been after this whole time, is currently pointing south-southwest.
So we're still not within 1,000 feet then. Okay.
So, what do you all do?
Well, if this thing is anything to be trusted, it's probably still within the city. So we should try to move down to that location and see if we can find anything further. How long can this thing track anyway? Is there only a single ping per day, or does it actually stay on for the rest of the day?
It lasts about 6 seconds before the lights turn off.
Kind of like my brain.
Well, there's a lot of hustle and bustle going on. And what exactly is the problem with all these Kenku anyway? What are they doing?
Well, before today, they were basically, robbing people blind, and nobody was doing anything about it because they were all terrified of the Kenku, because they all seem to be flying now, and everybody think it's a day of reckoning, like their deity gave them back their flight or whatever.
Well, we know that's not true. It's not as though Sparrow can fly now. Or can you?
Sparrow cannot hover. All the Kenku in this city can hover except him.
Well, I think it's probably best if we go and got our friend Zid back, because I can probably guess where he is. And then we'll just... because he's down in that location anyway. For all we know, this could be actually inside of the, very dangerous, huge cemetery. I'd like to check that place out anyway.
Okay, so do you all start heading south down the main road? Called the High Road, apparently.
Yep.
Right, and what does Zid do?
Zid's just hanging out on the wall. He's now sitting on the wall with his legs hanging over, facing the outside of the city. Well, outside of the City of the Dead. And he's just watching all the guards chase the Kenkus, and he's kind of laughing to himself, because now they know how he felt.
Well, does he continue laughing after seeing 1 or 2 Kenku get murdered in the streets and left there?
No, he just, stares and observes how they're dying.
Well, as the rest of the party starts heading south, they see similar scenes. They see Kenku getting killed left and right, including Kenku that don't appear to have been doing anything.
This is getting a little out of hand.
On the way, Wilkes spots something of interest. On the side of the road, well, throughout this entire city, there are temples to pretty much every major deity. But there's a long list of major deities that there are temples to. But every other deity has at least a shrine dedicated to them. And on the road, Wilkes spots a rather unkept shrine to Corellin. Yeah, some of the bricks are loose. It's covered in vines and moss and cobwebs here and there. It doesn't look like anybody's paid much attention to it recently. And the only offerings left are 9 Electrum pieces, which are probably still there because no one really likes Electrum.
Well, Wilkes is just on the way. He's going to make note of its location because he wants to come back and try to help it. But he'll walk into the temple real quick and leave an offering of 5 gold.
Oh, it's not a temple. Like I said, it's a shrine.
Well, shrine.
It's more like a tiny monument that you just kneel in front of. And there's a
Okay.
bowl.
Yeah, he leaves an offering of 5 gold to Corellin.
5 gold, huh? Okay. As Wilkus leaves the offering and makes a very small prayer, he gains the favor of Corellin.
Oh.
Now, what this is,
Sorry, I just did on something.
was it a plastic bottle?
Yeah.
Clean your room.
Anyway, the favor of Corellin, what this does is it grants Wilkus a bonus to the next paladin spell he casts to do something good.
Ah. I don't have these spells except for lay on hands, if that counts.
Well, that counts too. The next paladin power you use to do something good.
Oh,
Okay?
very cool.
So, as you continue wandering down the, heading down the street toward the city of the dead, eventually you find a group of guards, as well as General Fainalthor himself, chasing down a group of Kenku. Most of them get away, but one of them gets stabbed with a spear. Now, this Kenku in particular, instead of hovering above the ground, he was running. He wasn't hovering. He falls to the ground. And then as
He's not part of the gang, is he?
General Fainalthor walks up to him with his rapier drawn, the Kenku says in the voice of a middle-aged man, "Please, don't." And Fainalthor says, "Don't worry, I'm not going to kill you. I'd rather not get my uniform bloody. You there," and he points to Wilkus. "You're a soldier of this city, are you not? Come here and prove your loyalty."
Wilkus will walk up to him. I doubt he's part of their group.
And what
Wasn't
makes
flying.
him? Flying or no, he is still a Kenku, and all of the Kenku of this city must be eliminated.
Well, in response to that, Wilkus will kneel down next to the Kenku. Do Kenku have the ability to whisper?
Only if they've heard whispering.
He sort of whispers to him, "Are you one of them?"
And he replies, "No."
Wilkus will put his hand on his chest, and he'll restore his hit points using lay on hands.
Okay? And using the favor of Corellin, you actually restore him to full health, and help him back up onto his feet as well. And then he runs off. And General Fainalthor looks to you with a sneer and says, "What exactly do you think you're doing? You just
I'm a
aided
paladin of Corellin.
some paladin you are. You just let a criminal escape.
He's
Guards,
hardly.
seize these traitors." And all the guards begin pointing their spears at you.
How many guards are there?
10. 5 from Waterdeep, 5 from the Moonsea Empire.
Well, before that completely occurs, Manu does take the time to walk up to beside him, And he's-
beside who?
Wilkus,
Okay.
and he does look to General Fainalthor. Why are you trying to destroy all these Kenku? I just would like to know.
Because the Kenku are a menace, and Miss Silverhand has charged my troop with the task of eliminating this menace.
I'm afraid I don't understand. It seems to me that the only menace here is the ones that fly.
They don't always fly. Sometimes their hovering powers wear off, but they always come back with them replenished somehow.
What if we told you we have a pretty good suspicion as what's letting them fly, and we know we could stop it?
I'd be very curious as to how you obtained that information.
Wilkus will look at Manu. We weren't charged for secrecy, were we?
No. Not as far as I know.
I see no issue in revealing it. We were charged to retrieve some enchanted cards by a extremely powerful wizard. It is very likely one of these cards fell into the hands of the Kenku, and they are using it to give themselves the ability to hover.
Really? So it's some kind of magic item that's letting them do all of this.
Yes.
As far as our
If
knowledge,
we retrieve
yes.
the card, they will lose the ability, and very likely return to how they used to be, because they suddenly no longer have one up on everyone. We remove the card, it will be easier to deal with the ones that have actually committed crimes. And then you can let the ones who have not committed crimes go free and not have to murder every single one of them.
This is out of my hands. I may be a general, but this isn't my city. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to come with me to meet with Miss Silverhand herself.
Gladly.
Right around this point, I imagine. Wait, did Zid ever leave?
No, Zid's still up on the wall.
Oh, then he wouldn't have seen any of this.
No, you guys are too far away, I would assume. Unless the wall is tall enough and you guys are, where I'm able to see. Like, I could spot you, but I wouldn't hear anything.
Well, let's assume that right around the time they're being escorted down this way, toward the castle. Wait, where is the castle? Ah, here it is.
It's your map!
I didn't make it.
You didn't make it.
Oh,
Anyway,
so they would pretty much go right near the City of the Dead then, if they just take that road straight down.
yeah, so you would see them pass and being escorted by 10 guards, a knight, and a general. So what do you do about that?
Zid is going to kind of follow, but at a extreme distance. I'm just going to keep... Oh, yeah. A very extreme distance. I'm going to follow where I am within line of sight of them, but I am always going to try to keep 300 feet away.
Okay, well, eventually they're escorted into the castle. And you can't exactly sneak into the castle, not with all the guards there.
Well... So are they in the castle now?
Yes, they have been escorted into the castle.
Okay, so Zid's seeing that they're inside the castle now. He's gonna approach one of the guards and just, ask, where were you taking those travelers?
That's none of your business. Who are you?
Shit, I might have fucked myself. Well, I am known by the name of Zid. I am just a traveler of sorts.
You seem more like a loiterer to us. Get out of here.
Do I notice anything weird about the guards or anything like that? Maybe like the bandits?
No. They seem to be acting pretty naturally for guards.
Do I notice anything around the castle, by the castle?
Well, the castle is built into the base of a huge mountain. That's what this is, by the way. It's all of these lines. The lighter the green, the higher the elevation. It's a huge mountain.
Okay.
But, no, not really. It's a pretty standard-looking castle. It's got guards everywhere. Except for the occasional, cook or knight or squire or whatever.
Well, Zid will continue trying to talk to the guard. He doesn't really want to deal with this, but he's going to attempt it. He asked, why are the guards all attacking the Kenku now?
The Kenku have been menacing our city for months now. General Thor has ordered all of the guards to eliminate as many Kenku as possible.
Well, Zid asked, is it all the Kenku or just the ones that are committing crimes?
Well, General Thor's orders were clear. It's not my place to say, but it's my personal hope that after enough Kenku have been slaughtered, the rest will come out and surrender.
Zid is gonna ask if he knows if the guard knows what the Kenku's leader looks like, or maybe where the leader hangs out at.
Leader? If we knew where their leader was, he'd be our first target. We don't even know if they have a leader.
Zid's gonna explain to the guard that the Kenku in this city definitely have a leader. They do have a leader, in fact. Zid doesn't personally know who it is, or where it is, for that matter. But he assures the guard that there is a leader of some sort.
The two guards look at one another and says, "You have valuable information regarding the Kenku?" It's yes or no question, sir.
Zid is going to reply that it may not be of value to them, but Zid and his companions are here to basically get an item, a small object, and that he is
Well, hold on a sec. What is Zid trying to do exactly?
he's trying to basically explain to the guard that he's trying to get a small object, and he suspects that the Kenku have it, and that's how they're causing so much trouble.
But why is he telling them this? Why is he here? Does he want into the castle or not?
I don't want to get dragged. Well, there's no way to sneak into the castle, right?
Well, there is, but if you're caught, it would look bad.
Yeah, and I don't really want to get run out of town again. Okay, so I'm just gonna go for it. Fuck it. I'm gonna explain about the magical cards and how they give anyone who finds them special abilities, and that I suspect that the Kenku are using it to fly. I'm basically gonna spill the whole thing of what I think the card is, that particular item is doing for these Kenku, and it's gonna be basically the same thing Nick told the general. But he's going to explain that Zid and his companions are trying to get said item back, and if they can succeed, they won't have to kill any Kenku at all.
The two guys look at one another and says, "Yeah, that sounds like valuable information, alright. You'd probably better speak with Miss Silverhand."
Zid is going to ask who that is.
Miss Silverhand is the Open Lord of Waterdeep. The only Lord of Waterdeep whose name and identity are publicly known. She's basically in charge of this entire city. If this were a kingdom, she would be our queen.
Zid wants to know what race she is.
Human, Aluskan.
Didn't have to get that into it. Okay, well, Zid tells one of the guards, well, lead the way.
Well, one of the guards calls for another guard to take his place, while that guard escorts you into the castle. Eventually, you catch up with the rest of the party as they are waiting outside the Open Lord's chamber for an audience.
Did she get caught trying to mess with one of the bodies in the graveyard again?
God damn. No, I saw you guys being escorted by a small platoon, and I thought I would try to lend a hand.
Well, we pretty much spilled the beans already anyway, so anyone was probably going to find out what we're looking for. So...
Oh, good. I'm not the only one that had to do that then.
Well, if you mean run away from a dragon, then yes, you are the only one.
So, how long do we have to wait?
Well, shortly after Zid shows up, one of the guards opens the door to the Open Lord's chamber and invites you all in.
Alright, we'll head inside.
Yep. Inside, you
It's a little iffy. He stands in the doorway. He's a little iffy about it.
the guard insists that you step inside or step outside because they want to shut the door.
Zid barely steps inside just enough so they can shut the door.
Okay,
And
so
then
you...
he'll lean up against the door.
Okay. They weren't planning on opening the door until the meeting was over anyway, so they don't care if you lean on it. So, inside the chamber, you see that General Feanor is there waiting for you. He doesn't recognize Zid though, so he looks at him with a sneer. He goes, By the way, every time Feanor makes a humming sound, he moves his lips in an annoying motion.
Zid giggles a little bit at him.
And on the opposite side of the room is a beautiful human woman with long silver hair and a long purple robe.
I wonder who that could be.
And this is her.
Which one?
I'm pointing to her.
Oh, okay.
Manu does proceed to, bow in front of her. Says, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Silverhand."
And she bows to you as well. So, General Feanor tells me that your lot let one of the Kenku escape. I have a pretty good idea as to why you did so, but I would prefer to hear your explanation.
Well, I think it would be best if Locus explained.
Well, before you can, Feanor chuckles to himself and says, "Is it not obvious, Miss Silverhand? This lot are in with the Kenku. You see the one with the hood up, right?
Oh, fuck.
You thought you could hide your identity from me, didn't you? You see, they are allied with them. They cannot be trusted."
Don't jump to any conclusions. I do ask Sparrow to remove the hood, though.
Very carefully and slowly, he'll remove his hood.
Yes,
a
it is.
couple of the
yeah,
guards roll back in surprise.
Yes, it's true. We do have a friend who happens to be a Kenku, but this Kenku has nothing to do with the city and is not allied with any pre-existing groups. He is simply one of our allies, and we trust her with our life.
Him.
And sorry, it's so hard to remember that. Can I attempt to roll in
Do I need to make a little Mars state and put it on Sparrow?
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm going to repeat my previous sentence. Amanda, it sounds like your character's going to need a sex change at this point.
But yes, I do want to attempt to get a persuasion out of that, if possible. Can I?
Please don't ask the most skill checks. I already know what she's going to say.
What will she say?
She says, "I am aware of your Kenku friend. The guards in the North Gate already reported him to me. I know he is not from this city, and he has not been seen floating since he arrived. I trust that he is not one of them."
Thank you, Miss Silverhand.
And Thor is like, "It's obviously a setup."
Zid asks Thor, well, he doesn't know his name, but he looks at him and says, "Why do you have such a big mouth?"
Zid should know his name. It's been mentioned in this room.
Oh yeah, it has. Well, he's not going to address him directly, but he is addressing him directly, but he's not saying his name. He's basically going to ask him why he has such a big mouth.
All the better to let the peasants know that I am in charge.
Yeah, Mano's not going to mention anything about that. But back with Lady Silverhand. If I do thank you for trusting our friend here, but as we mentioned, we do think that these Kenku are a result of the cards we're searching for. Would you allow us to explain what information we have?
I would very much appreciate it. And then you proceed to explain everything that you know about the demon cards.
The only thing that I don't want to relay is the name of the wizard who gave us it. I want to keep his name a secret. Okay.
Okay. So once you've finished, Lady Silverhand looks to you and says, "So if we get this card, then the Kenku won't be able to float anymore?"
That's what we think.
And only one of the Kenku have it.
If it is the result of the cards as we think it is, it would just be one, yes.
Well then, that person is probably their leader. You'll have to find him or her, wherever they are.
That's why we needed access to the city to search.
Well, you know more about this card than I do, and you do have a compass that lets you find out their locations. I will call off the hunt for the Kenku for now, but I will be placing a time limit on your search. You have 3 days to find the Kenku that is causing all of this and stop it.
3 days is quite a short time, but I do look back to Wilkes, and I kind of ask him if he thinks we can do this in this time.
Well, we don't have much of a choice, do we?
I suppose not. Well, would you be kind enough to relay us any information that your guards or hunters may have come across about a leader of the Kenku?
My guard captain should be able to tell you everything we know about the Kenku.
Okay.
Then General Thor looks to Lady Silverhand and says, "You aren't possibly thinking of hiring these outsiders to deal with your problem. I flew all the way over here from Moonsea in order to help you. Well, if you're not going to trust me, then I'll simply have to handle it my own way. But I will still follow your orders. No more citywide Kenku slaughters."
Besides, Mander does say, if we fail in our 3 days, you'll be able to do whatever you wish. So you can look forward to that.
Oh, I will.
Is this general wearing any sort of makeup?
Oh yeah, totally. His face is covered in it. He's got dark purple lipstick.
How far does that lipstick go into his mouth? No, it's a legit question. I'm not joking. No need to laugh.
It's very expertly applied. In fact, you have a sneaking suspicion he doesn't apply it himself.
Well, I figured that. He's way too frilly to do anything for himself.
But yes, this guard captain. Who is it we would need to speak to?
Well, she introduces you to the guard captain, and in the opposite room, in the adjoining room that is, he explains everything that he and his guards have reported and learned about the Kenku. For starters, most of the Kenku hang out in the southern half of the city.
Perfect.
But you yourself know that the compass, when you were up here, was pointing southwest, like in this direction.
Yes.
So that can possibly limit some of your search. They also
Well, that
tell
basically
you,
puts us in this district, yeah.
They
Continue.
also tell you that not all Kenku have been seen hovering at all times. Certain more well-known Kenku have been seen hovering at some times and not hovering at others. And not all Kenku have been reported as being thieves, but so many of them have been causing a ruckus that everyone pretty much blames all Kenku at all times, because they can't know for certain whether a Kenku they've never seen before is a thief or not, especially if they're hovering. That's why there's all this chaos, that's why the guards haven't been doing anything to deal with them, and General Thor's solution of, just kill them all, doesn't sit well with them.
Because they are still citizens?
Yes.
Okay. And is there anything else?
I'm afraid that is all the information we have. We know that all the Kenku who are seen not hovering are seen hovering within 24 hours after that.
I also have a general question not related to the Kenku, if you wouldn't mind answering. Why exactly is there that huge graveyard in the center of the city? If this place is surrounded by the undead all the time, why did you build a city around it?
We didn't build a city around it. We dedicated a part of the city to the dead. See, since Waterdeep is the largest city in Faerun, it also has the highest percentage of undead that just come to life of their own volition. Usually it's the result of them having unfinished business or, not liking the way they were buried or whatever. But there's not much we can do about them since there's so many of them, so we just built a huge wall around the cemetery and leave them to their own devices.
Okay. That's just a small general question. Thank you for your answer. So besides that, Manu is basically finished. He's got everything he needs to know. And he's got a plan.
Alright, any other questions?
For the guards?
Yeah.
Well, I know this, but Zid doesn't. Zid wants to know why the graveyard is shut off to anyone from being inside of it at night.
Are you daft? I just explained a whole bunch of undead come to life at night. You don't want to get killed, do you?
Zid wants to know if there's any way to get around that little fact.
Get around it how?
Like, are the undead prejudiced against everyone that's living, or is there any way to distract them, or anything like that?
They're pretty much prejudiced against everyone that's living. I mean, if you wanted to wander through the city of the dead at night, you'd probably have to mask yourself in some way. Mask your smell, make yourself invisible. Typically, only our strongest wizards and clerics go in there.
Okay.
Anyone else? I'll take that as a no.
Okay, well, before you leave, the captain does give Sparrow something important. He gives him a small medal to wear on his chest. It's a crest that will let all of the other guards know that you're an honorary guest of the city and not to attack you.
Okay.
I'm surprised.
You will
I'm
definitely
surprised.
wear that.
I'm surprised he didn't ask for something like that.
Okay. Then are we out of here?
Yes, you can leave.
Okay. I do thank the guards deeply then, and I do make sure that, I let Silverhand know the same thing, and I will proceed to leave the castle.
Right, everyone.
Zid is going to pull his hands into his sleeves, and he's going to whisper a magical word in Celestial. Because he doesn't like this general at all. But he's pulling his hands into his sleeves because he has to make a little hand gesture for this. And he is going to whisper in Celestial because it does have a voice component. And he is going to make the general completely smell of skunk.
If it's a verbal component, you have to speak it out loud. You can't whisper it.
Well, then he's going to speak it out loud in Celestial as he leaves, and he's going to make it look like he's not talking to anyone in specific.
Let me just double check to make sure he doesn't know Celestial. Okay.
Oh. Okay, because I can switch the language if I have to.
Okay, well, you make him smell like a skunk, and all of the other guards realize that he does. And he looks at them all and says, "What are you all smelling? Surely you can't be smelling me." And then he smells himself and is like, "Ugh, those commoners must have rubbed off on me." And then he casts prestidigitation on himself to get rid of it.
Okay. Cute. Okay.
Well, no, you remember how I was asking about his makeup, his lipstick, and how far into his mouth it went?
You wanted to make it taste bad, right?
I wanted to make it taste like manure.
Well, as soon as we get outside the castle, I do want to say if anyone has any plans on how to best tackle this. I have an idea, but I'd like to know if anyone else has one right now as well.
Not really.
Well, Zid wants to know how familiar with ghosts and the dead Manu is.
I mean, I know of their ways in general, but I can't say I know about every individual ghost and their problems. And my experience goes strictly to ghosts. Undead are simply abominations that need to be destroyed.
Well, Zid asked if maybe he would want to gather information in the City of the Dead. Maybe there's a ghost or something hanging around. Maybe they've seen something or know something.
It'd be a very good idea to go and investigate it for sure. But maybe not the best. Maybe it's not best to do that right away. Look, what I suggest is that we go and try and find some more of the innocent Kenku in the city. If we can get in friendly with them, they might be able to relay us to who is their leader. Because I guarantee that even the ones who can't fly probably have some idea of what's going on. And, torture never does any good, so we're probably better off trying to get friendly with them. Right?
Well, Zid wants to know, how do we know which ones are friendly and which ones are part of the gang?
Well, I mean, the obvious way would be if they're caught floating, we'll know obviously that they're part of the gang. But I guess otherwise we have
all the time.
That's true.
Or if we do run into the gang, we could try to convince them we're one of them, and we could just let them know we're the ones that stopped the attack.
That's actually a good point. Try and get in with them that way.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, if they're not stupid, then they'll realize that we're trying to help in some way. We just want that damn card.
Well, we're not really trying to help. I mean, we are trying to remove the greatest power they've had in ages.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're trying to get that card back, which is going to make them weaker, but we're also trying to help, as in we're trying to make it where they're spared and not completely decimated in the city.
Yes. So that's actually a fantastic idea, Wilkes. We should probably look around this current district we're in, because this was actually pointing in the direction with the compass, right? South-southwest?
Yeah, and you just used it this morning, so you can't use it again until tomorrow.
That's okay. We'll spend our time trying to look around for other examples of the gang, and if we can, we'll convince them that we'll stop the guards if we wish to see their leader. Right? Is that generally what you were saying, Wilkes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so do you guys want to just search together or split up?
Well, we're on a strict time limit, so we might want to split up if we're just gathering information.
Well, I suppose that'd be a good idea. We should probably go 3 and 3, because I guarantee that most likely, Seraph would go out on her own.
Oh, hey,
knowing her.
I'll go anywhere you need me to. I mean, can't use the compass until tomorrow.
Okay. Then, I guess we'll just split into 2 then. let's see, what'd be a good way of doing this? I guess Zid and Lizzie can go with. Let's see. Well, actually, where does Allegretto? Who does Allegretto want to go with?
Well, let's think about this logically. If shit goes down, both groups should have some way of bouncing back in a fight. Both groups should have some sort of offense. If shit goes down, because remember, Zid was just buying a freaking cloak, and Zid tried to do something nice, and Zid got run out.
Well, don't worry. I mean, if Manu and Wilkes stay together, that should be okay, since they have access to lay on hands for a little bit of healing. I know Lizzie's the main one, though. I do understand that.
Lucas used all of his for the Kenku, though.
Manu's
Well, I
still
still have some. Yeah. We'll just have to hope that we don't get into any large-scale encounters.
So
We'll just have to make sure to...
So should Wilkes go with the mages?
I don't know. Should he?
Well, since you guys are frontline fighters, we should put one in each group.
Okay.
We have a lot of ranged fighters.
Then, yeah, Wilkes, go ahead and head with Zid and Lizzie, alright? Okay. But that still leaves, Allegretto. I guess he'll just be staying with us?
Oh, does he? Does he want to? Does he want to go with?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll go with not Zid and Lizzie and them.
Okay. Our group will search the northern part here, as it's a larger section to search. You guys begin searching the area to the south of the castle, okay?
So down here?
I would probably say, yeah, this general area, basically. Alright?
Okay. So
Okay.
this group searches the southern third of the city, south of the castle, and this group searches the northern 2/3.
You didn't
kind
even
of...
see our arrows, did you?
No, I didn't.
We are searching down here below the Silverhand.
Oh, is everyone searching
Yeah.
below the castle?
No.
This
These
group-
four are searching in this area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, since this group is in the area with the largest Kenku density,
Oh fuck.
they do run into a lot of different kinds of Kenku. They run into, they see kinds that are stealing, they see kinds that are just dancing around, like enjoying the ability to float, and others are just kind of hiding.
Well, Zid kind of wants to go to the ones that are hiding and just ask them questions.
The Kenku sees you approach and says, "Stay back! I didn't do anything."
Hold on, I'm not here to harm you or cause any trouble. I just want to talk. I just want to ask a few questions. The guards have been slaughtering Kenku, and me and my companions have put an end to it because we know why you guys have learned how to float. Or at least we think we know why.
And then one of them shouts, "We've been found out!" And then they both run off.
Fuck. Wilkes. They can't move that fast. Do you want me to try to nail one of them and knock them out?
No, let's follow them, though.
Alright.
That's a good idea, yeah.
What do you want to do, Tina?
What did Tina want to do?
Oh, shoot. No, we
Well-
don't have fishing poles. We can't just hook one and reel them in.
Well, we would.
Fishing for burbs.
Yeah, sky fishing.
No, if I had my brew, this would have been
14 wasn't supposed to be right about that. What the fuck?
So, what were you gonna say, PJ?
Nothing.
Okay. So, yeah, I assume they're gonna try and follow.
Yeah, we're gonna try to follow them, I guess.
Okay, you guys start following the Kenku, but it knows its way around the city way better than you guys, so I want you guys to roll a group survival check.
Hooray for group survival check.
Group survival. Okay.
Oh, good.
And what's survival based off of?
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Good. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, fuck. Okay, 19. Because I have
Ah.
0 in survival.
Well, one more pass has to happen.
Yeah, I got a 5, 6, 7. And Lizzie. 16 plus 5, I believe. 5? Yeah, 5. So 21.
Damn. Okay.
Okay, yeah, you guys easily keep up with the Kenku through the winding streets of the city, and
Thank God he's here.
eventually you see the Kenku seemingly dive off of the docks of the harbor and into the water.
Yeah. Can we get the fishing pole now? No.
Well, shortly after it dives into the water and you're just kind of staring at the water, wondering what to do or whether it's going to come back up, a mermaid emerges from the surface. She looks at you all and says, "Excuse me, were you chasing that bird person just now?"
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to talk to him.
"Oh, well, he went into the sewers, down into the pipes down below. You guys can swim, right?"
Well, yeah.
Is anyone gonna ask why there's a fucking mermaid?
Yeah, Zid's very surprised. He's never seen one before, and he basically wants to know, what are you?
"I'm a mermaid. One of the merfolk, obviously. I live in the city below Waterdeep."
Zid's gonna explain that he has never encountered one in his entire life, and it's a little shocking to him.
"I take it you're new to this city. That's the whole reason this city was named Waterdeep, is because of us."
Oh.
Oh, it's cool. Zid wants to know the easiest and quickest way into the sewer.
"Well, you could always go underneath one of the manholes that I hear you've got in the streets. But personally, the easiest way for me is to just go through one of the pipes. Although it's filthy in there, so I wouldn't do it myself. But other merfolk
Okay.
have done it."
Make sure to ask if there's any manholes big enough for something like Manu, because he's fucking huge.
But the manholes are always made for medium-sized creatures.
Okay, so I'll be fine to fit in. All right.
You could squeeze.
Okay,
Okay.
so Zid wants to know where this pipe is.
Well, it's right below, where you saw the Kenku dive into. You didn't think it was odd that the Kenku chose that specific spot to jump into?
Oh no, I mean I figured, but okay. So Zid wants to ask the mermaid. This is still weird to me. How long would we have to hold our breath? Like, because we can't hold breath like they could.
Well, I am imagining you probably can't swim as fast as me, so you'd probably have to hold your breath for a good minute.
How do we tell how long we can hold our breath for?
If you have at least 10 Constitution, you have enough to hold your breath for at least 1 minute.
Okay, we all do. We're good.
I have 16. I think I'm good.
Yeah, you can hold your breath. You can hold your breath for a number of minutes equal to 1 plus your con mod.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I got 5 minutes, and you both have, what, 4 minutes? Yeah, you have got 4 minutes. Yeah, we're great. That's way above human, but yeah, that's great.
That's actually at the upper limit of human. Without extensive training.
Well,
Yeah, but what sucks is your character is supposed to be in better shape than mine. I mean, I'm a caster, you're a frontline fighter, but I can hold my breath longer somehow.
you're also not a human though.
Yeah,
But that
true.
is true, I'm like half angel, so, I mean,
I don't think there's much ocean in heaven though.
no, it's actually funny because I'm basically like a fallen angel. My character's from the Underdark, so
Okay. All right.
it's interesting.
Anyway,
Back there.
it probably.
Do we want to jump in?
Well, do you want to jump in? The sewers are as big as the city itself, and it's just the 3 of you. Also, it's getting close to nightfall.
I mean, how long did their search actually take?
Half the day. You guys left the castle at about afternoon.
Okay.
Okay, I have an idea. Does Zid see any guards nearby?
Yeah, there's guards all over the place.
I assume the guards know not to attack Kenku, right? By now?
Yeah, and there's one guard who is currently being pestered by a couple of Kenku who are aware of this announcement. They're drawing all over his face in armor.
Okay, Zid is going to try to shoo them away, try to be very intimidating to get them away from him so he can speak to the guard.
He
I
barely.
love that wording. I'm gonna be intimidating to shoot him. Hey, no breath.
He barely has to try. The Kenku see him and just run off, screaming.
Oh, I didn't want to be that fucking intimidating. Okay, so Zid wants to know. He's magic erasers, really. Oh, Zid is gonna be nice. He's gonna use prestidigitation to get rid of all the bullshit on his armor and his face.
Oh, thank you, sir. Although your kindness is temporary.
Well, better a little than none at all, right? Zid wants to ask, is there anyone around that knows the sewer system very well for this city?
Well, you could always ask the okay, out of character. What do you call people who are in charge of the sewage?
Shitwalkers.
Shitwalkers.
Shitwalker, the distant cousin to Deathwalker.
Shut
I don't-
the fuck up.
I don't even know. Yeah, what are those called actually? I don't know. Like
Sanitation crew.
the sanitation. Okay.
Okay, you could always ask the sanitation department. They probably have a huge map of the sewers.
Oh, hell yes. Okay, Zid wants to know where the sanitation department is.
He gives you directions to it. Let's see, where would that be? Whatever, it doesn't matter. He gives you directions to it.
Okay, well, you'll have time.
Let's say it's in the castle ward. It seems right.
Yeah. Okay.
That's even better. Okay, Wilkes, Lizzie, I think we should meet up with the others, explain the situation, and go to this department, try to get a map, and go down there after those Kenku, because that must be where their leader is, since they ran straight there.